Well, hello, my beautiful Taurians. How are you, my gorgeous ones? So, this has been an interesting month. It's going to end the month, and I am just now doing your video. We've had Pluto go direct. We've had Venus turn retrograde. We've got some stuff going on. We've got the full moon in your sign, which I did a video on that if you want to go look at that. I'll leave everything at the end of this video in the eye icon or in the description link in the description box below as a link. So, my gorgeous ones, what's been going on? I've been talking to everybody about Pluto because it went direct, and then we'll talk a little bit about Venus, and then we'll sort of end out the month, and then I'll pull some cards for you guys. So welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including astrology, tarot, mediumship, all kinds of stuff to help you on your path. So let's talk about this Pluto. So at the beginning of the month, Pluto has gone direct. It was retrograde in April of 2018. So even though Pluto is this underlying subconscious sort of past life, but it's this thing that you've come to evolve on a soul level, right? And so that's why I wanted to talk to everybody about it. I am doing a Pluto series and a Venus retrograde series. I will be doing those after I finish the November, which I'm doing this weekend. So where Pluto lands, so Pluto, first of all, is this planet. It can be a scary dwarf planet, comet, whatever they call it. Like they changed the name of it. So this energy of Pluto, what it is that it is a power struggle. It likes to take your power so that you can take it back, right? And so it can be kind of scary because Pluto will come in there and take a lot of things away from you, but it does so that you understand your worthiness, you understand on a soul level or a conscious level that you are enough, that you come here with certain things that you wanted to do, certain things that you wanted to experience, and so Pluto sort of helps you get there, right? And so if you lean too much into something, if Pluto is placed in that house or area of life for you, Pluto will take it away so that you can take your power back. So it's sort of this power struggle thing going on. So Pluto went into the sign of Capricorn in 2008. It will be there until 2023. So you have been going through this Pluto transition, right? This Pluto transit. And so for you, that is in the ninth house of philosophy, of deep emotions. And what's interesting is that Pluto is this deep subconscious emotional attachment that you have. So it's like it could come from past lives, it could come from your childhood. It's this deep soul level emotional attachments that you're trying to understand about and get through. So for you guys, Pluto is going to teach you, or trying to teach you. It's always up to you. You are a fixed sign, so it's always up to you whether you want to do it or not. But Pluto is going to teach you, or is helping you understand, where do I belong in this life? Where do I belong in my community? Where do I belong, right? In relation to the bigger thing, the generational thing, the global thing, right? So where do I belong? And that's what Pluto is trying to teach you. And it's in this house of philosophy. It's in this house of religion. It's in this house of the mystical and astrology and higher education, higher understanding, right? That's what Pluto's there. Pluto is transiting in that house. So in 2007, 2008, maybe some of you 2009, is where you begin to understand that you were, or there was more, there was something greater, there was something bigger, right? And so with this understanding, you begin to search and be inquisitive and try to understand, I know that there's something bigger. I want to see what that is, or what that's about. And so I don't want to go too much into this because I'm going to do it in the Pluto series. But what Pluto ultimately teaches you is how you define your reality is your placement in this world. That's what Pluto is teaching you, that you're enough, that you're okay, and that you have to go by what you think and you know to be true, right? So truth, right? But sometimes you'll find that where you've been placed in your community, or where you place yourself in your family, or where you place yourself, that nobody really understands you. And so that's kind of this thing that you've been going through, right? And so, like, I know bigger things, or I'm trying to understand bigger things, and I'm learning bigger things, but how does that correlate to where I am in my community or in my life, right? Or yeah, my reality. And so Pluto eventually teaches you that you have to go by your own truth. You have to go by your own GPS. You have to go by your own reality, and then those that resonate with you will follow you. Those that resonate will try to understand. And so maybe over these last, like, since 2008, you've been having these deep conversations with people, and maybe, you know, you found throughout, like, 2008, 2009, 2010, that maybe a lot of people weren't understanding it, and then so you sort of retreated, and you felt alone, and you felt like people didn't understand, and so you're kind of coming through that. But so being inquisitive in itself is part of your purpose, part of your path. Understanding your reality, because Taurus is almost like the master of earthly creations. Like, you know how to create in this world. You're just trying to figure out how that connects with other worlds, with your higher self, with the other side, with God, with something greater than yourself, right? And then you're trying to figure out where that placement is. And so that's all I'll say about that. It had retrograde in April, so what you thought you almost had, like, you didn't have it figured out, but you were going in the right direction, you kind of thought you had a handle in this. This could have been dealing with foreign people, dealing with foreign lands, because that's all the ninth house. But, you know, what you thought it was and where you thought you had it, by April, it kind of became, oh, I got to readjust, I got to amend, I got to revise, I got to do that, right? And so having to do with, it could have had foreign people, having to do with religion, having to do with astrology, the mystical, long distance travel. Maybe you were going into a university, maybe you were going into another university, maybe you were going into a doctorate program or a master's program. And so all of that is sort of helping you be aware of where you are and what your reality is, right? Let me say that again. So all of this is to help you understand that your life purpose and your reality is what you make of it, even though you understand the bigger scheme. And then you'll see the placement. By 2023, you'll see the placement of how I need to believe in myself. And the other big thing too is the truth, right? And so the truth is very, very important to you. And so what you come to understand is that your truth and someone else's truth can be both true, and how can they be in the same world, right? And so you're learning to understand that as well. And honestly, it's helping you become a little bit more adaptable because you're so fixed. It's helping you see different points of view. So that's the ninth house. That's what's been going on. You had retrograded, so you amended. Maybe you were revising something. Maybe you were working on something. And then now that Pluto's direct, it still hasn't gotten to the point that it was where it was retrograde, and it does move very slow, so you're still kind of working on this. But you got a better handle of it. I am going to do that Pluto series where I'll go over each of the years and let you know what's going to be, what's gone on, and then what's going to be coming up. Okay, so that was Pluto in the first at the 1st of October, and then we had Venus. Now Venus is your sign. Venus is your planet. Sorry, Venus is your planet, and so you've been sort of hit heavily by Venus because where it's placed in your chart. Hold on a second. Let me go to your chart here. So if you look, Venus is retrograde here. So there's some amending. So all retrogrades are about amending, revising, editing, reworking, reorganizing, coming to an understanding and redoing, right? And so Venus is in there right now, Mercury's in there right now, Jupiter's in there right now, and then the Sun's going to go in there, right? And so with this going on, this is all in your seventh house. This is your house of relationships. But more than that, this is the house of mirroring. This is the house of when people come in front of you, this is where you learn your boundaries. This is where you learn how you want to be loved and how you want people to love you. How you want to be loved and how you want to love, right? And so this is right now with Venus, your planet, so you're going to feel it the most. This is where you're going to have to adjust. And this has been a harsh week because Mars had been squaring Venus. Okay, so Mars is in your 10th house. So maybe you had some things going on with work. Your 10th house is your career. Your 10th house is your public life. Your 10th house is accolades. And so with Mars in there, there were some things that you were finishing up from this Mars retrograde. And then that was completed. But maybe with this Mars-Venus square, either you could have offended someone because Mercury was close by, or somebody could have been offended by you. That was this whole week. It was a lot of tension with the square. So now, today, we have Mars squaring Mercury, right? So we have Mars squaring Mercury. Mercury's the processor. Mercury's the communicator. Mercury's trying to help you understand. But with Mars there, Mars is about me, 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 me. And so Mars being in your 10th house, you're trying to get something done. Or maybe there was a project. Or maybe you're trying to start a project. But Mercury over here in your 7th house, maybe to do this project, you're going to have to learn to be a little bit more adaptable. Like maybe you have to learn to work with people who aren't so adaptable, and maybe you're going to have to be the one that learns how to adapt in this project. Like that could be going on too. Or maybe to get you where you wanted to go in your career, because it's your 7th house, you have to go through this person that you don't usually go through, or you don't want to go through, or maybe, yeah, because you just don't like the way that they work, but they have an in for you to be, they have a way in for you to get to your accolades, for you to get to this higher space. Maybe that could be going on. And so with, on Wednesday, it had been squared Venus, but Venus was also trining Neptune, right? And so right now, Mercury's trining Neptune. So Mercury's trining Neptune, and Mars is squaring Mercury, right? And so Mars is about me, and Neptune is about we, right? And so, and I'm telling you, I feel like this is because you need to be a little bit more flexible. You need to be a little bit more adjustable. And so, or adaptable, sorry. And so I feel like whatever goes on with the 7th house, whether it's work, a partnership, a business partnership, a love partnership, whatever type of partnership this is that you're dealing with Venus, having to adjust, amend, reorganize, Mars being in your 10th house, it has to do with your career, your accolades, your public life. But Neptune being in your 11th house having to do with groups. With Neptune also being retrograde, there's something that needs to be adjusted here for you to get what you want. And I've said this to others, with Mars being me and Neptune being we, maybe you step into your higher self and sort of try to see the big picture instead of being so narrow and focused on the one thing. Like maybe you say, all right, if I let go of this and take the project with that person, is it really a boundary that is it really a boundary where they're going to go over my boundary? Or is it just me being stubborn, right? And maybe it's just you being stubborn. Now, if it's a boundary and it's going to hurt you, and because I always say this, if you can ask the question in 6 months, will this really matter, this part, like whatever's going on? And if it doesn't, then maybe that's something you can step into your higher self and just let them take. But if it is something that's going to matter in 6 months, then absolutely that's a boundary, and you shouldn't let somebody cross it. But the way to get to your trine, your gift, is to take that, whatever it is, and step into your higher self and say, am I just being stubborn? Let me look at really what they're trying to do and how they're saying it. And let me get out of my ego and step into my higher self with Neptune. And there's a gift in there. There's some way that you can progress forward with this. That makes sense. With Venus retrograde and Neptune retrograde, you're going to have to adjust. You're going to have to amend. You're going to have to revise. You're going to have to rework this. But if you're not willing to do that, then there's a gift that's just going to sort of, by choice, you may still get it. It just it may be the harder way to get it. Like, you may have to go through, I don't know, like, I can see all these scenarios where, you know, you get in trouble or somebody comes after you or now you have an enemy and and it was unnecessary. You didn't really have to have that enemy, right? So try to take the higher perspective, take a breath. Everybody's feeling this energy and maybe say, all right, am I just trying to be, am I just doing it because it's a habit for me to be stubborn and know when I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right? Because sometimes it's not about being right or wrong. It's about everybody working together and getting this done so that everybody learns, right? That's why I tell you guys, there's more to right and wrong that's going on in here. I mean, there's more to that, especially if you're evolved. It's beyond right and wrong. It's about other things, but you'll know that. But as a Taurus, you might get stuck in that, no, it's this way or it's the highway. Trust me, I know. I have that Aquarius ascending, so I can be stubborn and I have to like take it back and think about it and take that higher perspective, right? So that's going on. Today you have this trine with Jupiter, so your 7th house is lit up. 7th house, partnerships in or relationships with yourself, other lovers, mostly relationship partners, business, personal, family, anything that's a partnership. That's where this house is lit up. So you have Jupiter in there at 26 degrees, which is going to begin to, if it hasn't already, whatever you've been working on in this house, it should begin to give you some gifts of maybe meeting someone new, or maybe somebody coming to you to help you with a project, or maybe a new client, maybe somebody came in to help you get to the next level. That's Jupiter. Jupiter's the guru, Jupiter's the teacher, Jupiter likes to gift you, but at 26 degrees, he started to gift what you've expanded in this house, right? With Scorpio. Scorpio wants you to go deep, remember. Then you have Mercury here, who's the processor, the communicator. He brings messages, and then you have Venus retrograde in here. So there's amending, there's adjusting, there's revising. Yeah, there's amending, adjusting, revising, reworking, but it's all in your 7th house. So that 7th house is lit up for you guys, right? Okay, so today you have Mercury trining Neptune. So Neptune again is in your house of friends, your house of networking, your house of that's supporting your 10th house. So Neptune wants to be like the illusion, wants everybody to work together. And so with it retrograding, Mercury brings a message. So maybe there's a message of a way for you to be able to do this about relationships. Maybe you've began a relationship and you're finding out a message about maybe you thought the person was one way, but now it's another. Now you're seeing that it's somebody else, or he or she is looking like they're somebody else. So that could be coming about today. And then you have this sextile, which I like sextiles more than I like trines. So sextiles, you'll have this little tension of this opportunity with Pluto. And we discussed Pluto, this higher understanding, this learning that there can be more than one truth, this way of your soul growing to know that your perception is your reality, right? So it's sextiling Mercury. So I feel like you're going to get a couple of things today, tomorrow, maybe yesterday. Sorry, my throat. And then you have Venus. You have Venus sextiling Saturn, right? And so this is all, Saturn and Pluto are in this house of expansion, long-term, dealing with foreign people. And so there's an opportunity there with Venus. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's that you meet somebody because your 11th house is lit up. That's also internet. So maybe you meet somebody online too. So that could be going on for you guys. Then on the 24th, yeah. Then on the 24th, my darlings, you have this full moon in your sign, which you're going to feel this full moon. And this is a really powerful, magical full moon, right? And so I talked about this in the Taurus full moon, but this full moon is about you guys asking, or everyone, all of us asking, what can I let go of to make me feel comfortable, to make me feel safe, to make me feel secure, to make me feel as if I have luxury around me, right? And so this full moon is about letting go of something. And when you let go of something, that's when miracles can come in. That's when things can come in. That's when fate can step in and destiny can step in, because you'll have room in your energetic field for this to come about, right? So in this full moon, if you look, the full moon's going to be here, and the sun's here. So the moon's here, the sun's here. So the sun is going to shine on the moon, and there's going to be something in your first house. So sun, moon, or rising, your first house is about you. So there's going to be some illumination being shown to you that you hadn't been able to see before, so that you can let go of something, so that you can realize something, so that you can move forward, so that you can feel safe and comfortable and secure. Okay, so that's what this full moon is about for you guys. It can be because if it if it's your ascending, it can be maybe you're working on getting, maybe you're trying to figure out how you can, incorporate working out more into your schedule. Like you want to go to the gym now, or you want to start eating better, or maybe it's that you want to get a new haircut, or like something body-wise you want to change, or you want to see, or maybe you're seeing something like, maybe you're seeing some results. Maybe you've been working really hard and then you hadn't been able to see it because you're like, I can see this with some people where you've been working hard and you don't see it because you've been working so hard. Like maybe you're working out, or you're running, or you're doing something, or you're taking better care of yourself, and you're like, I don't see it. And then this full moon could be about that. Like you could see, it's going to illuminate something you haven't seen, and maybe you're like, oh, I see, like I have lost weight, and I do look better, and I do feel better. Like it could be that too. That's just an example, but because it has to do with the sun, where it's in the 7th house, the sun is talking to Venus, right? So the sun is talking to Venus, which is a relationship planet, which is your ruling planet, which is in the 7th house of relationships. So this has to do with relationships. So there's something that you're needing to let go of, or adjust, or amend, or come to an understanding about, so that you can move forward. Your first house. Uranus is talking to the moon. Venus is talking to the sun. This really is about you moving forward. Uranus likes to come in and take... Uranus likes to come in and take, or change, shift everything. Uranus likes to come in and shift, so that you can feel liberated, right? So that's what's going on the 24th, 23rd, 24th, 25th. We'll feel that energy for the next couple of weeks. And then you still have this Jupiter, Mercury in your 7th house. So your relationship house is lit up. Some of you are going to be meeting somebody. Some of you are finally going to be letting some people go, right? Doesn't just have to be love. It could be with your family, with your friends, with your business partner, with personal partners, like something's going on in your relationship house. And then at the end of the month, on the 29th or 30th, depending on where you live in the world, yeah, the 30th for me. So on the 30th, you have this beautiful water grand trine. And so this grand trine has the moon in Cancer. It's got Mercury and Jupiter's right there. Jupiter's the expander. And Mercury will be at 29 degrees. There's going to be a gift, a divinely guided gift being brought to you to help you feel, help you feel fulfilled, right? Help you feel better, help you feel safe, help you feel secure. And then you have Chiron here. So Chiron's in this house where Neptune's at. It's in this house of friends, of network, of internet, of something supporting your 10th house, your career, your accolades, your life purpose, right? And so Chiron is that old wound that just won't heal, and you have to work through your Chiron. I'll have the video in the description box below if you want to see the Chiron video. But whatever this is, it could be where you have to adjust and say, you know, this person comes in, or maybe you get news because Mercury's involved, or maybe you get a gift because Jupiter's involved, or maybe you get word, or maybe somebody comes and says something to you because it has to do with the moon and it's felt on an emotional level, and this is the water grand trine. But whatever this is, it's so that you feel better. It's so that you feel better, okay? So that's going to end out the month for you guys. We have a lot of things going on in November. We have Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. That is Sagittarius's house. I am so excited. My moon is Sagittarius, but it's going to be a very different Jupiter because it's in its house. It's with its sign. It's going to explode. It's going to like do a lot. And so it's very optimistic in this house. So the energy is going to shift into that, like very optimistic. And for some of us, it takes us seeing physical things around us to become optimistic. And if that's what it takes in your reality, then that's what will happen for you, right? So I'm excited about November. We will be talking about that. And we've got a lot of other stuff. We've got a lot of planets changing signs. So the energy is move, move, move. We're getting into the season, the celebratory season, which is one of my favorite seasons. So we will see. I'm just shuffling your cards right now. Okay, let's see. All right, feels better. Okay. I'm just cutting them right now to get in your energy. Oh. Okay, so where are you at right now? Oh, good for you. So you have the 10 of Wands. So this is with a heavy heart. This is with a lot of trial and error. This is the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands with a lot of trial and error, with a lot of heavy, heavy heart, heavy with you. You're moving forward. You've struggled with this, but whatever this is, wherever your focus has been, you are moving forward. And so I know some of you are like, can I do this? And you're going to do this because you're already doing it. But I feel like right now is like that last leg of the race, that last, like, I'm going to get it done, or I don't even know I'm going to, it's like, you know, where if you've ever run marathons, you get into this space where you know you shouldn't, like, you can't look at the end. You have to look at every step. You get to this, like, I don't know, at the 20-mile part or the 19th, 18th, 15th, somewhere through there is where you can get into this, like, you just go one step at a time. Next step, next step, next step, next step, next run, next run. Like, that's what you're doing. That's where I feel like you're at. Like, I'm not looking at the end. I know there's an end. I've already looked at the end. I'm just right here, right now. I'm like the next step, the next step, the next step. That's what I'm feeling with this 10 of Wands. It's like everything that you've got to just keep it moving, to just keep the next step. And you're not thinking about, you're just thinking about, I got to move to the next step. I got to move to the next step. That's what I'm feeling with you guys. So congratulations. I know it's heavy. I know it's hard, but I know you're going to do it. So what's their advice in this situation? I thought so. So their advice in the situation is the Devil card. I see this two ways. I see for some of you, I see that be careful and remember to, I don't want to say be careful. They want you to remember to enjoy the journey. They want you to remember to enjoy the journey. See, I'm seeing where they have me stretch out minutes. like stretch out the time. Like, you know how when you're having fun, it can go really fast, or when it's boring, it can go really slow, but that's a matter of perception. So they're saying change your perception. Change the perception. Remember to enjoy your now. Because when you get to that point, you could be looking back and saying, I missed that part. Like, I was so focused on getting there that I forgot here. I didn't even enjoy that because I was so focused on getting to my goal, right? And so they're just saying, you don't have to unfocus, just be sure to enjoy your now, right? Enjoy your now. For others of you, I feel like the opposite. I feel like there are others of you that they're saying, you know, when you want something really bad and you get that addictive quality, like you just like, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Like the bull. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to get what I want, right? They want you to get in that space to be able to get through this, the 10 of Wands. Like get in that space where I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Next step, next step, next step. Like don't think about all the 10 steps and get overwhelmed. Just this next step. Let me breathe. Let me take this next step. Let me breathe. Let me take this next step. Like that. They want you to get into that. That will help you get through this 10 of Wands. Okay. So how are we ending out the month? You have the, look at that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So you guys have fortune coming to you. You do have stuff coming to you. The Wheel of Fortune. Fortune is a subjective word to me. So fortune can mean money. If your focus has been on money, that's coming. If your focus has been on relationship, that's coming. If your focus has been on family, that's coming. If your focus has been on you, that's coming. Like whatever this is, it's fortune. It's the Wheel of Fortune. So it is turning. It is changing. It is moving. I can see that as you do this, as you stay in here, that these riches begin to come. That makes sense? So my gorgeous ones, thank you so very much. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will be getting November's out this weekend and try to get everybody's out, okay? I love you, love you, love you. Bye.